I just got back from the movie theater after watching Fackham Hall, and you know what? I'm glad I went. Stick around as I give you a spoiler-free review of the film. I've wanted to see this movie ever since the trailer came out because I love a good slapstick comedy movie. Some of my favorite films of all time are Airplane, The Naked Gun, Spaceballs. Fackham Hall is a comedy parody film. It's a parody, sort of Downton Abbey. I never watched that show, but I'm aware of it just through cultural osmosis, and it seemed like an excellent framing device for some jokes. The story of the movie isn't really the important thing. The important thing is that the story is a framing device to hang jokes on, and that is accomplished very well, but I'm still going to talk about the story a little bit. The movie centers around two characters, a rich aristocratic woman who wants true love, and a thief, a guy who's down on his luck, a poor person, completely opposite folks from very different parts of England. The cultural clash adds to the comedy, but it's a story that's been told 1,000 times. And it's been told 1,000 times because it works. Two people from very different universes interact with each other, a Romeo and Juliet situation, Spaceballs, Princess Vespa, and Lone Star situation. People that shouldn't get together, and that creates tension, and that creates drama, and that creates conflict, and that creates romance, and that creates a good story. And this movie delivers that, but the important thing is that they take it serious so that they can say silly things and make jokes. The people in the movie are not aware that they are saying silly things, and that makes it fun. There's a lot of sight gags, there's a lot of witty dialogue, there's some really stupid dialogue, stupid on purpose dialogue, which I really like. The inspector is named What? And there's a gag on his name. What? What's your name? You know, it's dumb. It's reminiscent of Airplane. Roger, what's your vector, Victor? There's a lot of verbal gags like that I really appreciate. The downside of this film is that it didn't quite commit fully to the silliness. It's silly throughout, but it never really fully goes full on Airplane, The Naked Gun, Hot Shots. It doesn't quite rise to that level of silly, but it is silly, and I like that. I wish they made more movies like that. The story works well enough. A down-on-his-luck guy gets hired in this mansion, and he falls in love with the woman who's there, and the interaction between the upper class and the lower class is genuinely amusing. That's really the bad thing about the movie, is that it's generally amusing. It's the most mildly decent film I've ever seen. It is shockingly average as far as how funny it is. It could be funnier, it could be worse, but it's good throughout. There's never a moment in the film where I didn't have sort of at least a half smile on my face. Very rarely was I laughing out loud, but I was never bored, and I was always entertained throughout. And that's not a bad thing. I want to talk a little bit about the movie's R rating. I'm not against an R-rated movie. I like an R-rated comedy. But in this case, I sort of wish it was PG-13 because nothing in the R rating is really that extreme that it needed to have an R rating. There's a couple more F-bombs than I guess would be allowed in a PG-13 movie. And they kind of have fun with the name sounding like the F word. They say it more times than would allow for a PG-13 rating. There's no graphic sexual element. This movie could have so easily been re-edited to be PG-13, and I think it might have been better that way. There's no nudity. I take that back, there is nudity, but it's blurred out. You'll see the movie and you know what I'm talking about. There's a few musical numbers. I don't like musical numbers in most movies, but in this case, the first one didn't really work. It didn't really seem to be appropriate for the movie. Not inappropriate. I mean, it is inappropriate, but that's not why it didn't work. There's a guy singing a song at a piano. He's singing a song about his penis. It's not funny. And it's not funny because it's trying to be silly. The movie's funniest when it takes itself seriously. The My Penis is Hanging Out song wasn't funny because it was trying to be funny, if that makes sense. The other song is in a London pub where these rough people are singing this rough London pub song, and that's funny because it's more natural, and it works better that way. The best humor in the movie, though, is the dialogue. There's witty dialogue. People say really dumb things like, did you fight with my father in the war? No, we were on the same side. Ha ha ha, yes, they fought together in the war. It's a dad joke. This movie's full of dad jokes. The dialogue was written by somebody who likes puns, and I can't say how wonderful that was for me as a guy who loves stupid puns. Nothing about this movie is going to make it iconic. I wish I could say differently than that. Nothing about the movie is going to raise it to the level of those old 80s and 90s comedies that I love so much, but it's a good attempt. It's a solid entry into that genre, especially because there are so few entries into that genre nowadays. We have the Spaceballs 2 movie to look forward to, we had the Naked Gun reboot, and we have this. There's not a lot of other movies like this, which is why I wanted to see it. I wanted to vote with my wallet, and I hope you do too. If you like slapstick comedies, if you liked the trailer for this, you're going to like the movie for this. The trailer did the perfect job of showing you what the movie was like, showing you what kind of humor it was, without giving the funniest parts away. And the funniest parts are not in the trailer. So if you want to see this movie, please go see it in the theater, because aside from myself, there are only 2 other people in the movie theater, and that makes me sad. I want movies like this to be a success because I want them to make more of them. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm open to suggestions. What movies would you like to see me talk about next? And you can check out my novels, Death Siren, Judas Kissed, and Becoming Quincy on Amazon.com. They are not comedies, but I hope you will enjoy them all the same. Until next time, folks, Eric Wilfred Watson signing out.